Hey, quick question to all you gardeners out there. Do you do what I do and just come outside in the early morning, even when it's raining, and stare at your beds? Like, just literally, I'm staring at dirt as if that's going to somehow make things grow. It's like, I don't know what I think is going to happen. But I just stand out here and I'm like, hello, little plant. And everything that's popping up, I'm like, oh, you're so lovely. And then there's just these big patches of dirt where seedlings haven't sprouted yet. And it's like I'm cheerleading it, like rooting it on. I don't know. That sounds so stupid. I feel kind of like a crazy person out here. But maybe you understand. Maybe it's like a gardener thing. So if you do this too, leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. Let me show you what I'm looking at, okay? This is the raised bed that we filled with the potting soil. Just for you guys to know, we did each bed differently because we're kind of wanting to compare. So the nasturtiums are coming up really beautifully. And that was one of the seedlings we did not lose from the frost, the surprise frost, the tomatillo. And that's a celery. That's another tomatillo. I don't know how that one's gonna do, but the nasturtiums are coming up. That's a cayenne. I just don't know. We'll see. But then I've got these little things in the middle of the bed. See, those are all carrots. And you can see how like densely planted they are. That's because carrots are really hard to germinate. And so I always sow them thickly. And then you can harvest them as baby carrots and spread out the room. So that's why I do that. I find if I only plant them in the proper spacing, I don't always get the germination that I want. The nasturtiums are looking really pretty. These were seeded after the frost, I believe. I'd have to go back and look at my YouTube video. So the other bed that I'm about to show you is the bed that we filled with logs. And we're doing more of a hugelkultur. We had a lot of logs from a tree that came down in the storm, one of the storms last fall, excuse me. And so we decided to try this method. So the whole bed is pretty much, floor to ceiling logs. And then we filled in the rest with compost. And of course, once the plants come out, we'll mulch. We haven't mulched yet because we don't want to bury the seedlings. But let me show you where that bed is. One of the things that's interesting is this has a mushroom. And there's another mushroom here. The squash is coming up. I planted squash all down the middle because it's a vining crop, and we're gonna let it just fill up and it'll be sort of like a living mulch. So the squash seeds are doing great. Nasturtiums over here are doing well. And there's some over there. I planted nasturtiums along the perimeter of the garden beds so that they could spill out and help us with some pest control. This was one of the plants that did not get too damaged by the frost. It's a Black Prince tomato. And then here are some new, one of the videos I reseeded. So a bunch of those are coming up. So the biggest thing that I think that is interesting about this bed compared to the other one is more of the seedlings have germinated. More of them are coming up. And we're seeing mushrooms like this one pretty much every day. And they go away. And my understanding is that means it's a healthy soil environment. So let's see. Let's see how this plays out. It was definitely a lot cheaper to fill the bed with the wood than to fill it with all those bags of raised bed potting soil. So if this bed actually does end up being a more productive bed, that's going to be great for us. I don't know about you guys, but the cost of supplies right now is just kind of through the roof. And so anywhere you can save some money is always helpful. So that's a quick update for us. And I hope you guys are having a great week. And we'll see you Thursday behind the scenes and Sunday with a garden tour.